can hear people already going, no, what have they done? Yeah,
it's turn of a year now.
67 days to the Cheltenham Festival as we record this. And this is something we've done the last couple of years. Some firms like to go non-run and no bet far too early and ruin the prices for punters, in my opinion. We've tried to give something back. We're going to go try and dig out a horse that you thought could be a bit of an each-way price with the additional prices on there. And after seeing some of the great action over Christmas, some of the...
He wasn't even looking, to be fair. He wasn't even looking.
And he's nominated potentially going for the 3-mile race, and he's, I think, a 33-to-1 shot with ourselves. So there are horses out there you can find a bit of potential value.
Yeah, I think this is a really good offer. You know, that last couple of renewals of that now have been kind of...
Pretty good offer, though. So, Sam, you've mentioned a fair few then. Any more you wanted to touch on?
I thought Potter's...
well, yeah... because the Turners has cut up quite badly in the last few years, I thought maybe that was... And then we need him to run well. So it's going to be a second start over hurdles. It's going to be very, very tough. But I think that the Bromhead camp are pretty sweet. And, man, like I said, as we were saying earlier, the Ted Walsh horse Shuffle the Deck.
We'll see in a couple of days. But hopefully, though, if he does go and run well, gets declared, and then goes and runs well as you're expecting, then he is going to contract in price, isn't he, looking forward? So a chance to take advantage of that each way value there. But one for me was JetBlue, and she likes to do so. And he's a really diminutive type. He wouldn't catch your eye at all, and everyone said that against these potential future chasers in the parade ring, but he saw out every bit of the 3-mile trip that day. So he's got a course and distance win to his name. James Reevely said after the race, well, he's a 3-miler, so why would he not come back over for the race and not want to run? He's about a 25-to-1 shot at present.
And he's got a bit of experience
there and win, you'd be laughing. But yeah, the big Westerner for me, I'll give that one another mention as well.
About that nap, it feels so long ago that I've completely forgotten everything any of us done for of this weekend. Hopefully we can find you some more winning naps. Deb, I'm going to start with you then, please. Your nap of this weekend.
Then for a long shot, that was this was one of those weeks.
Yeah, it's a really tricky weekend to try and find that in the long shot then as well. Just a really tricky one for those best bets. But your nap is going to be boosted on the website though, or make sure to scan the QR code in Vision to take advantage of that. Right, Sam, your own best bets.
Thought the unexposed nature of the trip was one that I could play each way.
I'm pleased that someone has gone for an all-weather. You've pretty much seen through at least my tactics anyway, because if they don't run, they can't lose. A little sneaky play with the weather this weekend.
There was a phase that we went through. The show was called Weekend Non-Runners. So.
Yeah.
Let's not bring that era back.
Yeah, so at least you've saved us some sort of contingency plan there. I'll let you have that, because I am just going purely to Sandown with my best bets. Navajo Indy is going to be the nap for horse. As I say, he just doesn't win, but as a long shot, I thought 10-to-1 was a very fair price for a horse that has finished second on his 3 starts so far in Veterans Chasers. So hoping for another good run from one of the youngest horses in the races, in the race as well. So again, we are going to be boosting my nap as well. So again, just as a reminder to head to the website or to scan the QR code to take advantage of those boosts. Now, before we wrap up the show, our 2025 predictions, wild ones only apply as well, Sam. So I'm going to start with you. What is your wild prediction?
I don't know at the festival. I think we're going into this with a really strong... Come on, Dick, let's get...
Where do you live?
Huh? No, the horse could be from Mongolia.
Yeah, he obviously could all change come Cheltenham, but I just feel the UK in quite the spot it was a couple of years ago.
A couple of horses over Christmas, and he's playing.
Gone at the game.
He's playing for a false sense of security.
Well, it's worked for me
at the Fez.
Yeah, he's only won the Savile, however many grade ones.
6-time on New Year's.
Sorry, on New Year's Day. It's coming home, says Sam. You're not going to jump on that bandwagon.
No, I'm not. Look, I struggle with this stuff. It's a perfectly healthy pastime.
Soapbox, but there we are.
There we go. Yeah.
So any excuse, I know. To be fair, I was tempted to go down that thing where something I'd like to see change. And then I thought, maybe off times for the flat to actually, maybe racecourses should be fined if they go beyond 5 minutes off. That was one of mine. I thought, nah, I'm going to go for something a bit more fun. But mine was Paul Townend to ride the winner of the 4 championship races at the Cheltenham Festival. Started to go through the markets. I thought, well, the Gold Cup, Galopin des Champs, the Champion Chase, Energumene, if he comes back to his brilliant best. The Champion Hurdle, if Constitution Hill doesn't make it again this year, State Man, because I don't think last time out was his true running, as many people have said. Exactly, or Lossy Mouth then.
Options.
Yeah, definitely got the options. And then I got to the sale. There's the wild element. Is that Ballyburn? I can't imagine it not going to plan with him now going over further trips, novice chasing.
Well, I'm on a 12 to the break.
Yeah. But if it does go a little bit Pete Tongan is next, I'll revert to the same. If Paul Townend, considering he to have ridden all 4 of the most prestigious races in Britain in a calendar year in 2024, what to ride in one season?
Needs a bit of luck, doesn't he? And are going to be 11.
He's old. Yeah. I don't know how old, but yeah, he is old now.
That's going to be tough. And I do think with an urgent meet, I don't know about you guys, but I think he's always been very lucky with the weather following him at Cheltenham.
Yes,
We've
he
had
has.
some really wet Cheltenhams. He's a horse I could see potentially struggling on kind of proper spring ground. But
yeah,
you've got options
sort of
there.
a backup, in some way. So yeah, there you go. Not as wild as I thought either. So that was a good way to sign off the show anyway, wasn't it? So lads, thank you so much for all of your efforts as per. Best of luck with your bets this weekend, and best of luck to you at home as well with your bets for this weekend. And we'll be back at the same time next Friday to preview the best of the weekend action. Hello and welcome to the latest episode of Weekend Winners in association with Bet Victor and our first show of 2025. So great to be back for more. And this week we're going to be looking ahead to the best of the action from Sandown, weather permitting. Hopefully it plays ball, as well as the Grade 1 Lawless of Naas. Of course, at Naas on Sunday, as you can see, returning for another year, Declan Ricks and...
To make the case for him, I forgave him at Christmas and thank goodness he came good and a few others. But yeah, really good.
So at least one man was saving the show. That was all right.
Yeah, hopefully so then for more luck in 2025 as well. But Dec, I mean, that Christmas period, if only we could have a review show commissioned by Bet Victor, we could spend an hour, as Sam said, talking about it.
Well, maybe there we go. As any good trainer worth their salt always trains a horse with a bit of condition on them. So we've got plenty to start the new.
Exactly. Keep going this way. You could have 5 horses in your back garden as of next week, beginning the training ranks then. And we've got an extra Brucey bonus today because we're going to give our wild shout for 2025 later in the show as well. So looking forward to that. I don't know what yours is actually, so I'm really looking forward to that.
I'm rubbish at stuff like this.
Oh, great. Thanks for tuning it up, Dec. Stay tuned for that all the same. Right, we're going to leave that for now. Before we get stuck into the action proper, a reminder as ever to please do gamble responsibly. Our tips are not guaranteed to win, but we will still do our best to point you in the right direction. Right, on with the first race. As we say, weather permitting with Sandown, because of course the cold snap is sweeping the nation at present. But the 150 is a 0 to 145 handicap chase. 5 rows and over 2 mile 4. 8 runners declared. Rockavango shading.
I think the drop in trip will suit him, and if Freddie Mitchell is claiming 5 off him, I think in terms of handicapping, he is definitely go close to win. So the softer the ground for the old headbanger, Fred.
Positively struck.
Yes. He's absolutely
stitched you up with that Fomwell replay, wasn't it? 6 to 1 shot all the same for Jupiter Dugit for Dexam.
Yeah, made my shortlist, Dec, so we're obviously on similar lines. Serious runner here. Yeah, that's the sort of noise you make when you're trying to assess this horse, who this season's had 3 fairly better that time of year. But I wanted to chance him. I thought maybe if he could go from the front, lead-wise, I think he'd probably be better if he could get it uncontested, but he might not get the luxury of that. 4 to 1 any bigger or any shorter.
Interesting you say about the front here. I think there's quite a little be set over the first 3 fences.
Harry Skelton, please.
Yeah, exactly that. And interesting that Harry Skelton has chosen to ride Etalon as well. But he is just a horse that's going to divide opinion, which probably makes 4 to 1 a price worth chancing him there for, I guess. Like you say, any shorter, perhaps not, because you just don't know where you are with Etalon fully. You are putting your faith into connections there that he's going to have this as a main target. But I just thought this race was so tricky to weigh up. Great start to 2025 because, as I say, a fair few horses in here. I just wonder if their main targets for the season are later down the way rather than Rockavango at the head of the market at 11 to 4. We know that this is, well, going to be just another target for him because he's been in such crack against Open Company for the first time since his chase debut, which he won, and is always something I mark up. If you get a chasing debutant that doesn't just take on novices as they're able to do so in the last few seasons now, mark that up. So I don't think Rockavango will have any issue going here, and right-handed all the better. So 3 different selections in our opening contest.
Tentative from mine at least.
Yeah, it is that race though, isn't it? Yeah, I've been served up a treat in many
I really like mine in terms
at the end of the day, isn't it? Do let us know who you fancy or who your spirit animal is in the comments section below. Right, we're going to move on to the 3 o'clock at Sandown, the Veterans Handicap Chase, one of my favourite races of the entire year. Series final, 10-year-olds.
In such great order this year. He won at Chepstow, then he bolted up at Aintree. He was second then at Sandown over this course. Freddie Gingell is claiming 3 off him. That's probably going to help, or it's going to be needed, I'd say, because he's gone up a stone in the weights. But yeah, he will do for me. I just hope the kind of
this season where he was so promising in his novice point of his career, and then he just continued to let people down. Basically, putting it nicely, just looked like he was gone at the game.
Yeah,
he's completely back.
Absolutely, yeah, it's great to see. Just sometimes you never know with these horses, they have little issues and little niggles, you know, like any athlete in any sport. And so, sometimes you just all clicks in together, their wind, how their move and everything. And that just looks like the case with him this year.
Yeah, it does, Sam, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Through the comments, Joe Tizard mentioned after the Chepstow run at the start of the season that they were kind of working back from this Veterans Series final, which shows how successful it is, because the fact that, you know, that was October and obviously we're planning our way through. But since then, Raw really, you know, just been absolutely ticking off nicely. I agree with Deck. Obviously, having Freddie back on will take the 3 off, which is really helpful. I do think the stablemate could have potentially been a bit of a danger, but he's been nudged up, hasn't he, as well? And there's not as much between them as there was elsewhere. The 3's negated by Freddie going back on. I kind of went through the race to look for alternatives, just given that he was a little bit short, wasn't he? But I like the consistency of him. Sam Brown, obviously an absolute fantastic servant to connections, but that win came at Warwick in the race 12 months ago. Does have the services of a decent rider to take a few pounds off. Those were kind of the 2 that really stood out, and I just sided with Copperhead. Deck's made a good case, and I agree.
That was my shortlist as well, so it's a compliment you in the last race. So
oh, nice.
Let's hope it's not going to be a case of the blind leading the blind this week.
Yeah, potentially so, hopefully so, more to the point, because I'm against a pair of you here. So many likeable characters we absolutely adore. And one horse that has kind of plagued me in my punting career is Fortescue. He just doesn't win, does he? But he's so likeable, he's so consistent, but he's so frustrating. Oh, exactly, so we're going to have him there. But yeah, Fortescue will probably finish second again, but 10-1. He's kind of the only one I would chance each way in this, because the rest of them are kind of win or bust.
Yeah, I actually did back him at Ascot.
Then for Fortescue, but I'll leave you two with Copperhead in the Veterans final. Again, do let us know which of the old boys you fancy in the comments section below. Now we're going to move on to the next race at Sandown, the 3:35. This is a 0-140 handicap hurdle, a qualifier, 4-year-olds and over 2 miles. Hopefully
on New Year's Day before coming down the last. So for me, I think when horses that far behind in the race are stacking up and the form looks like it's there, I think that rise is definitely okay. Interestingly, Kate, you mentioned the price. We're quite skinny at 4-1, but he was initially, I think, about 6-7-1 with us, and we saw some early moves for it, which you don't see too often. And I did think people just thought we were the wrong price.
Look who's riding.
I know Gavin Sheen rode. Well done.
That perfect slow motion sponsor on his thigh as well.
Fiver to the producer for a great shot there. Others in the race, I just felt honky tonk.
For all that we don't have Gavin Sheehan on him this time round, Caelan Quinn rides him, doesn't he, for this one as well? So yeah, unfortunately we don't get that. Still got a slow motion replay. So Deck, you're not going to join the party.
I'm not going to. I'm with My Johnny, and I'm reading 116 is very, very workable for the Johnson White and Philip Hobbs team. Indeed, when he ran a little bit of luck, you know, seeing hurdles, plenty of light and all that, he will go well. I think he is very well handicapped, and like I said, the yard are flying, 33% strike rate at the moment. His dam is from the family, one of my favourite horses from the Kimberley yard, Vindication.
Oh yeah, obviously of Hobbs and White as well. We're going detective agency or state agent. Yeah. Different options now, but yeah, they are in great form though at present. Really good at training racehorses. So hopefully, well, no, not hopefully, that will come to the front.
Nearly edgy, yeah.
Definitely not then. So yeah, definitely disagreement there, but all taking on the favourite at the head of the market in that handicap hurdle. Again, do let us know who you fancy in the comments section below. Now, before we move on to our next race, a reminder to hit the subscribe button on YouTube and also the bell notifications so you never miss an episode. Right, that is wrapped up at Sandown. We're going to head over to Ireland, to Naas, for the Grade 1 Lawlers of Naas on Sunday. 5-year-olds and over 2 mile 4. Now, we don't have declarations at the time of recording, but we really wanted to look at this race. It would have been remiss of us not to. Really exciting contest, potentially loads of future clues ahead of the Cheltenham Festival as well. So, Deck, who did you like the look of?
I wanted a unbeaten in 2 from the family of Fiona. Remember
yes.
Yeah, Philly won the 2017 Cheltenham bumper for Gordon Elliott, and then I think she I think she was killed in an accident at home somewhere along the way. So he's bred to be nice. Hopefully he can carry on the family condition. The horse was actually formerly trained by Philip Fenton, and I thought and I think he won his bumper on debut at Ballinrobe, and there was money for him that day, which is always interesting. And then last time out, the market in the morning said this horse had absolutely no chance. 5-2 out to 6 to looked a little bit vulnerable last time out. Was that the yellow clay got up really late in a tactical race? You know, just looks like a horse who's going to be
race, aren't we? And certainly about a horse such as Butch Cassidy as well. Sam, who did you like?
Yeah, I obviously form, and if you go back through and just look over what happened at Christmas, the Enabler and Workhead, both of them went on and won at Leopardstown.
Looks like a dinosaur, isn't it? What is going on there?
Yeah, probably not the most flattering picture. Maybe the producer's trying to get us the biggest price. I don't know. But definitely, to me, just going back through the form, the Enabler and Workhead both won decent races over Christmas, and I always think that's a really key indicator. Obviously, goes a bit further in trip here, but the hurdles debut for me was more than acceptable, and whilst I appreciate it comes from a stable full of stars, I think could potentially take high rank, and over 2 mile 4, really interesting, that middle distance kind of hurdle.
You know what, I've just had justification from our producer Ben as to why that photo was used, because many suggested that his jumping wasn't totally up to scratch. To him again
just
there.
In case Isaac Swade and Simon Muir are watching the show, yeah.
Yeah, just in case. You never know, to be fair, do you? So best of luck to the double green. Not so much, though, because I'm siding against you with the yellow clay, where, again, we talk about this race and so many unexposed types in here as well, but he's just the solid proposition for me and the most simplistic way to play this race as well. And it is kind of, for me, the obvious one, because the others have to come up to meet his standard. A winner of his last 3 on the bounce, all 3 over hurdles in his 3 hurdle starts so far. A maiden hurdle at Down Royal before taking a grade 3 by 10 lengths. Then another second grade last time out to win a grade 2 by a neck. As the 4-11 favourite, yes, and you did say, Deck, as well, about the fact it was only a narrow success considering the price that he was. But we actually got to see him battle for one thing. And the 14-1 second set the pace, was actually given a really canny ride as well. Cian Quirk on Fleur in the Park, because he led. He quickened between the last 2, caught the yellow clay a bit flat-footed, didn't jump the last all that well either, so I can't throw all that much shade on that basis. But he can be marked up for that effort. His stamina came to the fore, over 2 mile 4. This trip may well be a minimum for him. I agree with you on that front.
To be fair to you, I think it looks like a horse that a kind of a grade 1 gallop would suit him. That's the impression I got anyway.
Yeah, so like I said, I think this trip may well be a minimum, but at least he's shown versatility and a good attitude as well. And I just thought he could go on to win again. So that is everything from us in this part of the show. Looking ahead to that grade 1 contest at Naas on Sunday. Again, do let us know any fancies you have for that contest in the comments section below as we head over to the sofa to give you our best bets of the weekend, as well as our 2025 wildcard. Now, before we get to our best bets, Bet Victor have got an offer for us, Sam, at the Cheltenham Festival, and some